Buongiorno, ciao a tutti, I'm Aaron here at 99 Problemi, and today I have a video for you on the imperativo negativo. That is the imperative mood, the negative forms. I've made 3 previous videos, so this is the 4th video on this subject. And if you have not seen those other videos and you're new to the study of the imperative, you'll want to start with the other videos. I have one on the informal imperative, the formal imperative, and where to put pronouns when using the imperative. And so this is just the final video that encompasses all of those topics and then shows you how to make them into negative forms, which is a fairly easy concept except for one small change that you have to make with the informals. As always, at the end of the video are exercises to check out. So let's look at that informal form there, and you'll see it immediately there in the purple, the magenta. It says non pulire. Okay, normally the informal command would be pulisci, like if you wanted to clean, tell somebody to clean the house or the room, you say pulisci la. Well, in this case, you have to make it negative by turning it into by putting it back into the infinitive, rather. So whatever the command is in the informal to form, the second person singular, you're going to turn it back into the infinitive. So even if it's a regular like va, you're going to turn it back into non andare, or di, if you wanted to say. It's usually not said by itself, but if you want to put it back into the infinitive and put a non in the front of it, you've just made the negative imperative. Okay, so that's basically the only difference. If you look at the voi form and the noi form there, you're looking at the same imperative form for those subjects, but you just put a non in front of it, and there you go. You have your imperative. The formal is formed by just putting a non in front of the imperative form, as with the noi and voi. So really that one is also easy to form. Now, it's basically the same thing when you use a pronoun, and you see as I set these forms up that there's a space in between the verb form and that exclamation point, because that's very important. And see, notice on the informal that space where you're going to put the pronouns, no matter what the pronouns are, with the exception of the subject pronouns. It doesn't matter if they're direct objects or indirect objects or double object pronouns or reflexive pronouns. They go at the end behind the verb for the informal, and then they go in front of the verb for the formal. So if you wanted to tell somebody to don't clean the room, you take la stanza and you turn that into a pronoun, it becomes la. Don't clean it, you want to say. And it's just non pulirla in the informal, non pulitela if you're talking to a group of people, non puliamola, let's not clean it. And then in the formal, it's non la pulisca if you're talking to somebody. You didn't want them to clean the room for whatever reason. You say non la pulisca. Notice how in the informal, those pronouns are attached right to the verb, and then the formal, they're out in front and separate from the verb. Alternatively, you could do the same thing for the informals, but these are more rare, and you have to put the e back on the infinitive if you're using the two forms. So non la pulire, don't clean it. And same thing with the voi form, non la pulite, and the noi form, non la puliamo. Okay, now those are more rare, so you're going to see the informal forms there in the color boxes more often than you're going to see those with the arrows. Okay, let's try this out with some exercises and see if you've learned something. The first one is non lavarti. So for whatever reason, if you want to tell somebody, not to wash themselves, it's a rare command, I suppose. But so you're doing the to form of the negative, and when you see that negative magenta negative sign there, just make it into a negative form, because it's going to get that non in front of it. And you'll see that these exercises, they're not just negatives, they're going to, and they're not just with pronouns, they're bringing in knowledge from all the previous videos. So if you find this at all difficult and you're getting a lot wrong, it's okay. These are challenging, and they incorporate a lot of knowledge from previous lessons. Okay, so be sure to check those out if you haven't already. All right. Presumably you've paused it and written down the answers that you think these questions give, or these problems give. And let's go through them now and see if you've gotten the correct answers. Number 2. So this one is we want the to form with a pronoun lo standing in for, say, a book or something, like read the book, and that is leggilo. Number 3, you tell somebody don't get up, non alzarti. Okay, and it's not non alzarsi, because that wouldn't agree with who you're talking to. Remember, you're talking to somebody that you know, and that is in the same way that you would say to a friend if you're narrating what you're doing, or telling that person that you get up, not a command, but you get up. It's ti alzi. Well, in this case, when you're telling somebody not to do something, you have to say non alzarti. Okay, number 4, voi svegliarsi is svegliatevi. 5, we're going to use the negative form of the noi, and also with let's not read those things. So non leggiamoli. 6 is mettetevi. 7 is non andarci, so don't go to that place. There is using one of those particles, the ci particle, and they're telling somebody not to go to that place. Number 8, to form of telefonare, and telling somebody don't call me, non telefonarmi. 9 is esci, tell somebody to get out. 10, to finish it, or don't finish it rather, non finirla, again chopping off the e at the end of finire and adding the la to the end. 11 is venga. 12, to melodare is non darmelo. And you see the curious thing that happens when you have double object pronouns is that they get smashed together. Instead of melo separate is now melo together, and the melo gets attached to the dare. So you can see how these can be confusing and long in some cases. 13. You're going to say dici, tell us. Dici. 14. You want the formal form of mangiare, that is non la mangi, and also negative. 15 is andiamocene, let's get out of here. 16, again being formal, tell somebody not to drink something, non la beva. Again, 17 is formal, tell somebody don't tell me, non mi dica. If it were informal, it would be non dirmi. 18, lei, alzarsi, that is si alzi. 19 is non mi guardi, don't look at me, but said formally. 20 is the only loro formal form. It's ci paghino. Pay us. Okay, So that's all that I have for you on that. If you want to learn more, head on over to the website at 99problemi.com. That's 99problemi.com. You can subscribe to the channel on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook, all under the handle of 99problemi. And thanks for watching. Grazie.